everybody. Happy Wednesday. I really missed you guys. I've been gone for 2 weeks. It's just very strange to have that much time off. So I am ready to have a class and be with my friends tonight. So how is everybody doing tonight? Looks like people are finding us. Hello. Got a few people coming in. Yes, I am very happy to see people. It has been a rough couple of weeks. We had a quilt show. We went to the quilt show, the store, and it was a busy week and lots of work and all that. And then right before the Saturday before we left, my water heater went through my floor, and I live in a mobile home. So you may notice a slightly different background tonight. I am in the living room because my sewing room is right next to where the water heater is. And so they took out some of the floor that my sewing machine cabinet normally sits on. So I am in the living room it's a little dark, and I apologize. I just put up as many lights as I could. I've got about 4 lights around me because it should only be a couple of weeks. So how is everybody tonight? We've got quite a few people coming in, so we'll wait a few minutes. Now, we are going to be working on the table topper tonight. This is the November table topper, and it will be, whoops, I got it behind me, I guess, here. So this is the one with the little pumpkins, like this. And it has the disappearing 9 patch in the center. So we're going to be working on, sorry, my cat decided she needed to come visit. So this is the center. So this one's going to be another disappearing 9 patch. So I got part of it sewn out already. So you don't have to wait for me to do all of that. But the corners are so cute with the little pumpkins on this one. I really like it. Yeah, this one's very cute. And the colors, I thought the colors turned out cute. I wasn't sure because I was struggling getting the colors right. And I thought they turned out pretty good. So, okay. So this is what we're going to be working on tonight. And I wanted to show you, we're going to, whoops, second here. I was going to lay it behind me here for a second. We're of course going to have a drawing. So for those of you who are here for the drawing, remember you get to be entered by saying something, by commenting. And so this is going to be the, since it's fall, we'll do another fall one. So I have another of these little mini quilts for the drawing. So this is the Hello Fall. Okay. And then I've also got another little Sew Along with Jan needle case. I had a whole bunch of these. I don't know. I must have made just a lot of them. They were fun to do. So I made a bunch of them. And then for some reason, I have a whole lot of these little wall hangings. So this will be one of the prizes tonight. So these 2 items will be the prize. Okay. So remember to make a comment to get entered to win in the drawing. All right. And then I thought they turned out, they're very cute. I've always loved those. Hello, everybody. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because a couple of you have already, I had several of these. I don't know why I had so many of them. I must have made a bunch of them. I don't know why I had so many. But anyway, I have another one. And they're so cute. And they all have like different backings on them. This one was a real cute backing. Actually, this fabric is also in my table topper for tonight. So I had a bunch of this left, I think. So I used up some of it. Yeah, I love the little wall hangings. And these are fun. We'll do some more of them because I've got some more ideas for them. And I usually do these in this one was done in the design center. But I often do these little wall hangings in the software classes. So this one just happened to be in design center. So it was fun. And you can make it anything you want. This one, I happened to do this for a fall class. So I thought it was pretty. But this one has that same fabric on the back. So yeah, these are very nice. I've done quite a few of these now, but I still like them. And it's nice to have something to put in my little frame that I put on my end table. So the end table's not in here right now. My sewing machine is. This is my living room right here. So it suddenly became a sewing room. And so I had to move the couch is in the cat's room right now, which is you can see there's a door behind me, and that's where the couch is right now. And so she's quite disturbed that all her furniture is moved around. So anyway, she's sitting on my lap right now. For some reason, I'm being blessed with her presence. I don't know why. Okay, so that's the gift. That's the gift. So remember to comment. And then we're also, so we're going to be working on our table topper. And I wanted to show you, if you haven't seen the video, right about the time I left to go to the quilt show, I did a little video on making this cute little cord keeper. Okay, so it's a little cord holder with that I did. So this was a little project that was done in Artspira. So if you haven't seen this, I just put it on YouTube. So go to Sew Along with Jan on YouTube, and you can see this little cord keeper. Okay, and then so that's one of the things I wanted to show you. I thought it turned out cute. And then the other thing you'll be seeing soon is this is a darling little project. This is also an Artspira project. I don't know if you can see him or not. It's a little reindeer. And this is, let me turn him around so you can see his little bow. And he will be, I'll have a video for him here probably in a week or so. And this is a little Artspira project too, but this is done in the scan and cut. So I thought he turned out really cute. Looks like those little yard reindeer, that are made out of wood. Isn't he cute? So anyway, so I've enjoyed doing these. So anyway, this is going to be a little video coming up. It will be about a week or so. So I'm getting caught up now since I got home, and I also became ill at the hotel. I had an allergic reaction to the bedding and the pillows. So I'm starting to sound better. I don't sound quite as hoarse and stuffed up as I did. So I am feeling much better. So I've always wondered why I got sick at hotels, but I think I know now why I do. So anyway, okay. So we're gonna do some sewing tonight, and we're gonna piece our little. Yes, I'm in my living room. My water heater went through my floor, so my sewing room is right next to the water heater closet, and so part of the floor has been removed and is not very strong yet to put my sewing machine back. So yeah, the whole I didn't tie it together. It took me all these years to tie it together. That's why I get sick when I go to a hotel. I don't like going to a hotel very well. So I don't travel very much. All right, so let me turn off the banner, and I'm going to switch the camera over here, and we're gonna do some sewing tonight. We're going to sew on our little our table topper here, and we'll talk about the fabrics real quick first, and then we'll get to sewing. So, all right. So it might take me a little longer to get over to the iron to get and to trim, because I'm in the kitchen too. My kitchen's like this way. So I have to do some of it in the kitchen on the counter so that I can cut and that kind of stuff. So, all right. So give me a second here. Let's turn the camera down to the other side here. And let's see, get the microphone so I can turn my head. Okay. So hopefully you can hear me okay. And all right. Oh, there's a cat tail. Look at there. My cat decided she's going to sit on the sewing machine, so she'll have to move. Yeah, I'm using my kitchen as part of the sewing room right now, so you never know. Yeah, you get to see my whole house. You'll eventually see, because I used to do some of the classes in my living room, but it was further over to the north, and now I'm kind of saying, oh yes, hi, Gigi's sitting right here. She decided she needed to sit on the sewing machine. So, okay. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk a little bit about our fabrics. You know, Gigi, you're going to have to move, hon. I know. There you go. She likes to sit on my sewing machine. Okay. So this is the November table topper. I have to find here we go. Here's the right page. And you need, of course, some of our fabrics. So we needed 5 fabrics that were going to be the center blocks part of the border, and some appliques. So what I chose for that, and I've already sewn some of these together. So I had 2.5, and I believe these are 2.5-inch blocks. Let me check. Yes, so 2.5-inch blocks. We had 8 of each one of these blocks. So there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different fabrics. Okay, so then there's 8 2.5-inch blocks of each of those that go in these 9 patches. Okay, so we have those, and then I made 9 patches out of them. Okay, so that was part of it, and then part of those colors were also my my corner blocks. So I have the peachy colored ones for the corner blocks of the table topper, and then I also had some of those were part of these were part of the borders, and I've already sewn them together. There were 2 rectangles, and these are 9 1/4 by 2.5 inch, and then they were sewn together to make the borders. Okay, so those were also some of these same fabrics. So I've got those, and I did sew a few things together, so you didn't have to sit here and watch me sew all these squares together tonight. And then let's see, I had some appliques. We'll talk about those in a minute. And then there was a background fabric, and that's the one that we make the 14-inch square out of and cut it into quarters. And of course, this one also has the shape flex on the back. So I already have that on the back, and I cut that square that was 14 inches into 4 triangles. And here is the little diagram, again, corner to corner, both ways. Okay, so that's my leaves. And then let's see, we have, that was fabric 6. Fabric 7 was my borders. So I did those in dark brown. So I have this little dark brown, these little dark brown borders. And these were 1.5 by 11 and 1.5 by 13. Okay, so there's my borders. And then, let's see. And I also made my binding out of that same fabric. So here's my binding. So that was also that dark brown. And then here is my backing. So this backing is going to be the yellow. And I think my other backing was a tan. Let me see here. This one was a different one that I had. So this one was tan. I didn't have enough fabric to do both of them the same color. So this one was brown. Okay. All right. And then for the appliques, let me check my appliques. They're pumpkins, so I wanted them to be orange. And so my applique pieces were, let's see, 3 by 5. So there are, as you can see here, there were 2 that were the same color and 1 that was a different color. So what I did is I made 2 of them that peachy color that was like the cornerstones and part of my block. And then I had a different color that went with it, another orange that went with it, that was kind of that same tone and has a little print in it. Okay, so that's my, and those were 3 by 5. And then I needed some little pieces for the stems. So these little brown pieces are my stems then for my pumpkins. Okay, so we'll talk about that again next week, but those are my applique pieces. And I think that's all the fabric. All right, so let me get this back here. So I kind of liked the fabrics a lot. These were just fall fabrics I had at home. So I just kind of picked them out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put the 9 patches together. These are made out of 2.5-inch blocks. And the one instruction in here was that she placed the orange block in the center, but it doesn't have to be. So I had that one kind of orangey block that's going to also be my pumpkins. And I put that one in the center of all of my 9 patches. And there'll be 4 9 patches, okay? And then what I have done is I've already cut them. So I'm going to show you the cutting over here. If you give me a second, I'll get my little, I'll move my camera over a little bit so you can see me cut these. And this is going to be a disappearing 9 patch. So we make our 9 patch, you know, we sew the 3 rows, the 3 blocks together and the 3 rows. And what I did is, of course, the way I've been doing all of these is that the odd number rows, I press my seams to the left, so here, and the even rows, I press them to the right, and I did the same thing here. So 1 and 3 are pressed to the left, and 2 is pressed to the right. And then on these, what I normally do is I open the seam at the end when I sew it together, just so that it's a little less bulky when I'm doing the embroidery quilting portion. So I did open the long seams up then when I put those strips together. Okay. So there's 4 9 patches. So you just start out by sewing and what I did is I just put them in the same order. You know, I did these 4 colors and then the orange one in the center, and then I started over with the 4 colors. And I did all 4 of my 9 patches the same way. So hopefully that makes sense. And that's what these are, because I've already cut these. All right, so I just cut some of them and sewed some of them up so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me sew squares together all night. Okay, so I'm going to move this over for a minute, and we will cut the 9 patch in half. So this is how you get the disappearing 9 patch. Get this turned over here. This is how you get the disappearing 9 patch, is by taking your little 9 patch that you made here, okay? And then we're going to cut it in half, lengthwise and widthwise, okay? And this is a 6.5 inch square, so it's going to be about 3 1/4. So 1, 2, 3 1/4. Okay, and I know then my blocks are about 2 inches, so my straight line should land nicely on the seam for 1 inch. Okay, so we're going to cut these in half then. So we're going to cut it in half this way. Make sure I get my blade open here. We're going to cut it in half that way, and then we're going to move the ruler on this side. And this is my little mini roundabout. I love this. This is a small enough block. It would lay on it, okay? And then I'm going to lay this one on the 3 1/4 mark, because the blocks will end up being 6.5 inches, okay? So there, I have cut it in half both ways, and there's our disappearing 9 patch. Looks like I need a new blade. Got a couple little spots that didn't want to cut. Just give them a little, there we go. Okay, so I have, after I've done that to my 4 9 patches, now I have 16 of these blocks left. Okay, so here's all of my blocks, and we're going to lay these out in 4 rows of 4. Okay, so that's the next step. So I'll move my camera back over so you can see what we're doing. And we're going to lay out our blocks. Give me just a second here. I'm stuck on something. So does everybody understand so far? Am I going too fast? Hi, Clara. Okay. And we've done a couple of these before, so they're all done the same way. All right. So I'm going to turn the page, and it says now, after I've cut them, then I'm going to lay my blocks in any order. You get it? Awesome. So we're going to lay these out in any order, and then we're going to sew 4 rows of 4 together. So I'm just going to start laying these out. Let's see here. We'll just lay them out. It doesn't really matter. And I found that I was trying to get these more random looking, but I found that it's just better just to lay them out and just go for it. Because sometimes I have trouble getting them to like be random looking, and it's just better for me just to lay them out. Sometimes it's hard to make things look random, you know? All right, let's see. And what I do try to do is I try to have as few seams in my seams, like as few seams to join up as I can. So I kind of twist them around. So so far all of them have looked really nice. So I just do the best I can. Okay, so let's see. Let's try this one like this. And so we're just going to put them in here and see how they look. Let's put this one here. No, I think I would need a different color. There we go. Let's try this one. That's the thing. I second guess myself too much. So don't, I've been trying to just put them down and sew them together. So sometimes I think that's a better plan than trying to really, you know, to like match them up or something. Okay. I've noticed that I get too involved in it and I have to just like say, okay, we're just going to set these down. All right. I try not to keep, you know, get too many of the same color together, you know, if I can. So let's see one of these green ones maybe here. Let's put it this way. No, I don't want to put it that way. How about this way? Okay. And so it doesn't really matter. It'll still look really cool how you get it in here. Okay, I'm not going to have room for one more, so we'll kind of do this one. So let's do this row too. I'm just going to pick up my row here like that. I'm going to set this over here so I have a little room to work. Okay, so let's sew these together. Yeah, I just finally, you know, when I started working on these, I finally just sort of started saying, just do it. Put them together. Because they will look good. Even though you might have two of the same color together or whatever, it's still going to look good. So I just kind of put them together now. Okay, so now we're going to go over here to random is very difficult, I think. So we're going to go to the Q tab, and I'm going to go to Q02 to get my 1/4 inch piecing stitch. So I don't have to change my foot. I've got my J foot on. And I'm using some of my Pima cotton thread in the needle and the bobbin. It's kind of a tan color. I thought that would look pretty good. Make sure my camera, you can see what I'm doing here. And we're going to piece. We're going to piece these together. I'm doing my 1/4 inch seam. So with the piecing stitch, I'm going to use my edge of my foot to make my 1/4 inch seam. And I'm just going to do one of these at a time. I don't chain piece very well, so I like to just kind of do these one block at a time. And then we'll make our rows, and then we'll sew them together. I'm kind of getting the hang of these disappearing 9 patches. I'd never done one before doing these. And everybody says, oh, you've never done one of those? And it's like, I don't piece that much. So, but these were kind of fun, and I'm kind of getting the hang of them now. They do turn out really cute. Jan, you just go for it? Yep, I think that's good advice. Just go for it. And they always turn out, I mean, you know, even if you don't think it looks good, it's going to look good. They turn out just really nice. So, I mean, so far, all of the ones I've done have actually turned out very nice. And I was really surprised sometimes. You know, I thought, oh, there's too many of those in one spot. But you know what? It turns out fine. All right. So there's my first row. Okay. There's my first row. So we're going to lay this up here. And then my second row is right here. So let me pick these up. Trying to pick them up in the way I laid them down, but you know, it may end up being different. So we'll see. This is going to be one of those random ones tonight, I think. Okay. I did some of the sewing last night. I was terribly tired last night, but I figured I better sew a little bit so that you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me put all these squares together, because it does take a little longer for this one. Oops. Helps, Jan, if you hit the button hard enough. And it was very relaxing to sew. I needed some normal since my last couple weeks has been a little weird. I'm looking forward to getting my sewing room back. I miss my sewing room. They had to take part of the floor out near my sewing machine table. And so I don't feel like I should put this heavy table and stuff in there. So that's why I'm in the living room right now. I figured for the next 2 weeks, you'll get to visit my living room. Yeah, I mean, like mine always turn out differently than I think they're going to, but you know what? They look fine. All right, so there's this one. Okay. And then this is the third row. So let's do this one. And we may just let this be totally random tonight. I kind of laid it out, but I didn't lay out the last one. So what's happening in my sewing room, Jan? My water heater went through the floor, which is right out by my sewing room. And so they had to take out some of my floors to dry out my house. And we're in the process of getting the house fixed. The insurance is going to help me with some of the repairs. So since they will fix the damage that the water heater caused, but I had to pay for the water heater. So I've already got a new water heater, and I have water again, which was nice. Because when I first got home from the quilt show, I didn't have water. So I was living here without water. It was rather interesting. So I had a friend letting me use her shower and her laundry. So, but I still have to go over and do laundry. See, I can't use my washer and dryer because it's out there where the water heater is, and I don't have a floor out there to use it. Okay. All right. So now let's see. We're going to kind of see, this is the third row. So let's see. We want this. Maybe this way. Get this one on. Got a little bit of yellow in there, but you know what? It's going to be fine. So let's try this one. Maybe like that. And then let's see, we got a green one. And another cream one. How about that? Whoop, let's see. Let's turn this one around like this. Okay. All right, so there's our third row. We got first 3 rows. So I'm just going to line these up so I can remember which row it is. And I'm going to put a pin. What helps me remember how they go is I like to put a pin in the top of the top left corner block for each one, so I remember which ones go together. I'm trying to keep them in order, but this one, that way I remember which way they go. So I'm just going to put a pin in the left corner block of each row like that, see? So I don't forget. All right, so we got our first 3 rows here, and then this is going to be the 4th one. So let's put this one together. And then I'll go press, and then we will put the 4 rows together. And then this block has to be, I believe it's 11 inches square, as I remember, but we had to trim these because they don't, yes, Janet, was quite a mess. And what really scared me, is I didn't realize that it was the water heater until I actually walked in my sewing room, and a cabinet that sits next to the water heater closet was actually falling through the floor. And that's what really scared me. And I opened up the water heater, and there was never any water on the floor that I could see. That's why I didn't realize it had happened, because the water was going under the house, through the linoleum flooring, and under the house, and under the linoleum, like onto the wood floor underneath. So I never could really see, and I never saw anything wet. And the water heater almost fell on me when I opened up the closet. It really scared me that day. It was Saturday. I was heading to work, and I'm like, gosh, something's not right here. And I had to call my boss and tell him I couldn't come in because I just really had a mess. So, okay, so here's our 4 rows. I put the last one underneath, and these are the left-hand side. So I'm going to go and press these. So I'm going to press my odd rows to the left and my even rows to the right. And there's 4 rows here. So give me just a second. I'll go get these pressed, and then I'll be right back. Gigi, you can't put your tail in there. She almost got her tail in the drawer. Maybe she'll stay here and keep you company for a minute. I'll come back over for a minute so that we can talk about a little bit about the next step, because I forgot to turn my iron on. Whoops. Okay. So the next step then we'll talk about that. The block that we're going to be making is 11 inches square. And I remember when we did this, so you have to measure from like the center seam, the two center seams, the horizontal and vertical. Yes, they have a pan under my water heater now. This is the 5th water heater I've had in this house, and they've never had a pan under it. There is a pan under my water heater with a drain that goes under the house. So this shouldn't happen again. But it is, I still have to get the house fixed. So I do have a pan, thank you, because I'd never seen one, and I was so shocked that when they told me, oh my gosh, you don't have a pan, and it's like, well, no one's ever said anything, and this is the 5th water heater. So we're going to measure from the center seam out 5.5 inches each way to cut this down so that it's 11 inches square. Okay. Oh yeah. You could have with a slab house, but see, my house is a mobile home. So I'm sitting on the ground with skirting around it. And so what I'm worried about is, of course, I'm worried about the insulation underneath being wet because I don't want frozen pipes. Okay, so my iron just beeped. I'm going to go iron my rows, and then we'll put them together. My ironing table is much closer. Oh yeah, the insulation is going to be replaced about halfway through the house, back around through almost to my bedroom. So yeah, that's all going to be done. That's the next step, is doing that first, and then I have to have my house leveled, which of course insurance won't pay for that, but I'm going to pay for that. Okay, so here's our rows. So this is the first row. Here's my second row. I've got the rest of them in my lap here. So we're going to go ahead and pin these together, these two together, and sew these so we can get our rows put together. I was so shocked though, because like I said, this is the 5th water heater I've had in this house, and I've always had some sort of indication that it was leaking, because there's linoleum floor out there, and usually the linoleum will show a little dampness, and it didn't. Boy, was I shocked when I found that water heater. I knew it was getting close because I very rarely get more than about 5 to 7 years out of a water heater. So, okay, so here's our first 2 rows. So we'll go ahead and sew these together with our 1/4 inch seams. We're still using that Q02. I'm going to sew our first 2 rows together. These go together pretty quick. Once I got the hang of these, they're kind of fun. And they all look so different. Like, I might do 2 of the same table topper with the same colors, but they won't look anything alike because they, because you'll put the blocks in a different way. All right. Yep, so the next thing is the fixing of the house. So they got to do the insulation underneath, and they have to do flooring in my room in there. Oh, my floor around my stool is fine because I actually had work on that this summer. So I know it's fine. My house is about 25 years old. I've lived in this house for about 25 years. And the gentleman that went under my house to ascertain, what was going on, he said the house is actually in good shape. It does need to be leveled, which I knew, and he is going to do that. So, and then we're going to do third. This is the third row. I think I kept them in order, so hopefully they'll be okay. The cat seems to be very intently watching me tonight. I don't know why. Sometimes she likes to help, but sometimes she's just very, and I think her main problem is I have my stuff sitting on her mat because her mat is next to me and I think she wants her mat. Or she wants TREATSs. I can't say them, otherwise she'll want me to go get them for her. Yes, the bathroom, I had to have some work done on my toilets this summer, so they had checked, those have been really pretty much checked out. So I think we're good with the bathrooms. All right, let's see. I think I've got a seam here that kind of needs to be lined up. So let me see if I can get that one kind of lined up. I'm gonna put a pin there. I have a hard time with my seams like in the scoot. She is, I don't know if she's smart or not, Colleen. She's a very interesting cat. She's been my problem child. Very different cat than any of the other ones I had. I've had 5 cats during my adult life, and she is an interesting one. Yes, my little sewing friend. She does hang out with me. She got bored and went away. All right, I'm getting this lined up here. I think we'll be okay. So this is the third one. Yep. So, and unfortunately, the man that is doing the repair work wants to take the water heater out because he's concerned about the floor underneath, because the plumber did not replace the floor directly underneath. So I did have a 2 that lined up here, but you know what? It'll be fine. So we'll see what happens with this. This row looks good. So I had 2 of the green ones that lined up, but you know what? It's okay. All right, we're going to line this one up here. So this is row 4. So I appreciate all of your advice. You're very, I mean, it's nice to know, people that have had different experiences with this stuff. And my house is in good shape. I mean, I've always tried to take really good care of it because, it's my only home. So I have tried to take good care of it so it would last. A creative decision. Yes, that is an excellent way to put it. I had one. I don't know that I've ever done that before, but it happened this time. So it's just going to be the way it is. So I think it'll be just fine. And I turned my iron on so that it would not turn off. It's on, it has like a thing that it makes it stay on. Yeah, she is a little disturbed with the fact that I'm hanging out in the living room because I very rarely sit in here, actually, because, I'm in my sewing room all the time. So I think Gigi's quite upset about me sitting in the living room. And the couch is in her room right now, so that also seems to upset her a little bit. I had to put the couch somewhere so I could get my sewing machine in here. My living room is actually quite small because behind me is the actual living room, but of course my long arm is in there. So I'm in the officially this is supposed to be the dining room. and I made it into my living room, but it's very cozy and nice. And I've always loved it since I did that. What size is the smaller round? Oh, the smaller roundabout? I really like this one. You'll have to get this one directly from Martelli. We don't carry this one. This one is, let me see. This one is 10 inches. I really like this one a lot. I use it quite a bit. And it's nice because you can get it like, it'll fit over here and it turns, yeah, it's really nice. This one's 10 inches. The other one I think is like 16 or 18, as I remember. All right, so let's see how we turned out here. And then I'll go press it and I'll do the trimming. So we'll talk about the trimming again here so you know what the trimming is. I do love my big one. I use them both, but I do like this one because it's handy when you have small blocks to do. You know what? That looks fine. See, there's a little spot right here, but it just has a different spot there, so it'll be fine. All right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to lay it on this seam and this seam here. Okay, the two middle seams, and I'm going to measure 5.5 inches this each way and trim it. So you will be trimming, this last row is going to be a little narrow, okay? Like these little last area, you're going to cut off a little bit off the edge. And that's the way it is, but it needs to be 11 inches square, and that's step number 10 right here, okay? So let me go press, and then I'll trim this real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So I think I got it. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I have to go further to do the trimming, so I have to go a little further away. So you trim off it's approximately 1/4 of an inch off each side. So what I did is I put my ruler right along the center here and measured up 5.5 inches here and then down 5.5 inches this way. And then I did the same thing with this seam here, 5.5 inches over, 5.5 inches this way, 5.5 inches this way. Okay, so there's my 11-inch square, and there's our disappearing 9 patch. Don't you think that looks okay? It's different than the other one, definitely. Okay, so now the next step is going to be our little borders. So we're going to start the borders next. So give me a second here. Gotta find them. Where did I put them? Oh, here they are. So here's our little, the next step, 11 and 12 are going to be the borders. So here's our little borders, and we're going to put the 11-inch ones on first, of course. So we got to find those. We had cut this 11 inches. All right. So give me a second here, and we'll put these on. Better put a couple pins in. So what does everybody think so far? I'm just so happy to be here with you all tonight. And thank you for coming and joining me. I appreciate it so much. I think they're cute. I think this is going to be really cute. I like it. It's different than the other one. It's so cool with these disappearing 9 patches. You just never know. I mean, they're always going to be slightly different, you know, because depending on how you turn your blocks and so on. So it's kind of cool. All right, let's get this one. We'll do these 2. So I put, you know, the 11-inch ones on opposite sides of each other. Yeah, I really miss being on last week. The reason I took last week off is because I thought maybe, you know, I would be tired after the quilt show, and then I ended up being ill as well. So this whole allergy thing, I have a chemical allergy, and so I'm allergic to a lot of weird things. And one of them is like sizing. So sometimes my hands break out when I work with fabric, because I'm allergic to sizing. Starch, I'm allergic to starch. That's why I used the stuff I make myself with vodka and water. But I'm also allergic to like laundry detergents. And you know, I was in a hotel with somebody else's detergent and it wasn't mine. So it's taken me a while to figure all these things out, because you know, no one's really ever told me with this allergy. I'm allergic to a thing called dimethyl phthalate, and it's stuff that makes plastic soft, but it's also in a lot of detergents, soaps, stuff like that. I'm still using Q02 for my 1/4-inch piecing stitch. So I never, you know, I can be allergic to something and never realize it until all of a sudden it connects to me. That's what it is. Have to be very careful with like clothing I buy. I have to make sure I wash everything at least once, sometimes twice, that type of thing. It's really weird. All right, so here is my 2 borders. So I'm going to go press these open. I'm going to press these borders. I'm going to press the border towards the outside. Okay, like that. Yes, next time I will. I'm going to take my own bedding, or I'm going to, and I think I'm also allergic to the feather pillows. I think that's what was the worst part. And I didn't realize I was allergic to feather pillows because I never thought about that. But I'm either going to take my own bedding and my own pillows, or I'm going to take my cot with my sleeping bag, because it's very comfortable. So, and it would be easier than all the bedding. So we'll see. I'll be right back. I'm going to press this open. No, I think I'm going to like this. Okay, so here's the 2 11-inch borders. Yeah, I have this nice little cot that when I go on, you know, I go to visit a friend, that I always sleep in my little cot, and it's very comfortable. And then I take my own pillows, and I have a sleeping bag, and you know, it's washed in my own bedding or my own laundry detergent. So, you know, I use chemical free stuff. Like I do a lot of Norwex, so it's all cleaning stuff without chemicals. So it really helps me, because you know, you clean without everything's chemical free for the cleaning. So I've always had trouble with cleaning solutions and stuff like that. So yep, that is true. I believe that. And as you get older, sometimes you develop allergy you never had before, you know. So yeah, it's just weird. And I've had this allergy it's been 20 or 25 years now. And you know, I'm always finding something that bothers me, you know, and I don't think about it normally because I've gotten rid of the things that bothered me. And then every now and then I run across something like a hotel room, because you know, I was using the towels and the bedding and the pillows, and you know, so now I know.
Oh, I know. I love their window cleaning stuff. Yep. I use my Norwex cloths all the time. I use all their laundry detergent, and like they have a stain remover, you know, for your laundry. And I use all their bathroom cleaning supplies and their kitchen cleaning supplies because there's no chemicals. So then it doesn't make me sick. And like, oh, really, Barb? Yeah, because I know some people that are allergic to, like, when you move into a new place, like they'll have glues and stuff, like they put new carpet in and paint and, you know, paint fumes. And oh, yeah, I mean, there's just so many things. All right, so we're going to put, these are the 13-inch ones. They're 1.5 by 13. Put these on next. So it's been a very interesting couple of weeks. I'm hoping that the next couple of weeks will slow down a little bit because I'd like to get some more videos made. I've got a couple of ideas for videos, so I was hoping to get a couple more made. And it's hard to do that when I don't have a sewing room. You can't eat peanut butter anymore? You get migraines. That is weird. But you know, and then like, you know, a lot of foods and stuff have preservatives in them and stuff like that. I know people are allergic to those and it causes them problems. I mean, there's just all kinds of weird things now. But they say that chemical allergies are way more common now than they ever used to be because we have so many chemicals around us. And the other thing that bothers me, you're gonna laugh, is Windex, because there's something in the Windex that they don't have to put everything on the label, and there's something in there that bothers me. So I can't. That's why I like Norwex, because I don't need to use any chemical to clean like my glass and stuff. It's weird. And I've had this for a long time, so. Oh, something you're mopping their floor. Oh my goodness, Cindy, isn't that weird? But yeah, I mean, there's so many chemicals, and I think a lot of people have chemical allergies that they don't realize, you know. All right, so I think we got those two borders on too. Look at there. I think it's going to turn out pretty square, it looks like. So I'm going to go press these out. I'm pressing the borders outward, okay? So I'm going to go that. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have gluten allergies. That's another very common one now. All right, so give me just a second, and I'll be right back. We'll press these, and then we're going to go on to the corners. Boy, I put water in my iron, and it's very steamy tonight. It's really steamy. Okay, so there is our center with the brown borders. I like that. So let's go on to, let's see, we need the triangles next. So that's the next step, which is number 13 down here. We're going to put the triangles on. So we're going to fold these in half like this so we know where the center is. And then we'll fold our triangle in half so we can get these lined up. Flashing lights, that it's sort of like a strobe light. Yeah, I can see that could happen. Hard water, yep, that's another thing. Yep, there's a lot of things out there. You just don't think about it, you know? And like I didn't think about, I've always wondered why I never felt well after I stayed in a hotel. And see, I was actually in the hotel from Tuesday night through Friday night. So longer than, you know, lots of times you're just in a hotel, maybe a night or two, you know. And this time it was longer. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, that is why. So now we'll have to, every time I go to a hotel, I'll have to do something different, I guess. I don't travel much, so it's fine. All right, so we're going to fold those in half too, so we can get the center, and then we're going to go to the middle here. Put that, and this is my pretty, and remember the shape flex is on the back because we need that on the back so when we do the embroidery. So make sure you get your shape flex on your 14-inch square before you cut it, because that really works well. Yes, that is true. That might be another solution for me, Barb, if I have my own vehicle, my own bed to sleep in, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's weird. I've I don't think about it too much anymore because I don't have that many problems because I've eliminated everything, but every now and then, like I forgot to wash a pair of slacks that I bought a couple of years ago, and I couldn't figure out why I felt so terrible. And I had worn these slacks for like a day or two. I think I had 2 pair. So I wore them like 2 days, and then I just didn't feel well. Well, I hadn't washed them, and so there was sizing in them. And I'd never even thought of it that I should wash them before I wear them. So I wash everything at least once, sometimes twice before I wear it now. Because I really did not feel well during that time. So you don't think about it, Okay, so let's put this one on. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm doing my 1/4-inch seam on this one. Let's get this all lined up. Oops, second here. I better put my thread under my foot. So remember to put your thread under your foot so that otherwise everything, unthreads, and also to drop your needle in the edge of your fabric. So that way you don't unthread your machine so easily. Oops, second here. This one's being naughty here tonight. Sometimes I have a little trouble with those little triangles on the corners. So let's see if it's happier now. I didn't get it right in the fabric. Nope. See how it does the little eating thing? So if it does that, what that means is that you didn't start in your fabric. So I'm just going to see if I can get rid of that little knot. And this happens sometimes with even because I'm on a triangle. And my needle wasn't dropped into both of the pieces of fabric, so it doesn't want to feed very well. So I'm going to push it in just a little bit further. There we go. There we go. So it is important. That was something my grandma taught me. Make sure you put your fabric or your needle into your fabric instead of in front of it, because that way it'll start feeding. The old machines didn't feed very well, and these feed so much better. I rarely have that problem unless I'm working with triangles, because you're not always in the way the fabric turns out with a triangle, you're not always in both sides of it. And like this one, I was only in one side. All right. And this machine and a lot of the Brother machines and Baby Lock machines have something called automatic fabric sensor system. So make sure it's turned on your machine, because if you have that, oh my gosh, it alleviates that problem almost altogether. So you don't have to use leader or enders because the machine is adjusting for the presser foot pressure. But in this case, what my problem was, I wasn't in both pieces of the fabric. I was just in one of them. So it wasn't, it was on a very small piece or thin piece of fabric, and it just didn't want to feed. There we go. And I take a couple slow stitches before I take off when I'm in a corner like that. And that really helps too. Don't get into a hurry, because the faster you try to sew, the more it buries down into the needle plate. But that automatic fabric sensor system is in your settings page, and make sure that's turned on your machine, because it is very, very nice. Okay. All right. These, let's see. So I'm going to go press these, and these I want to press toward the toward my border. Okay, so we're going to press the seam towards the border to make it lay flatter. Okay, so let me go get these pressed and then we'll do the other two. I think I'm going to like this. Like that. So I pressed my seam in towards the border then. Okay, so there's like the seams are facing each other. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I like to trim these little dog ears off. So we'll just trim these off here. I'm just going to use my scissors before we put the other two on. You know, I really like this fabric. I thought that was pretty. I like it. They have several different colors with the leaves on. I think there's a kind of a gray one like it, and it was this creamy colored kind of gold color. I thought it was really pretty for fall. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half again. I've got kind of a piece of shape flex that's a little bit off here, so I'm just going to trim that off a little bit. Yeah, I like this fabric. This one was really cute. I wasn't sure what I thought because I was picking out, you know, fall colors that I had, and this is all fabric I had. And I was just kind of picking out fall colors, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe that'll be okay. Maybe this will be okay. So I just kept going, and I thought they turned out pretty good. And I really like this orange. It's more of a muted orange. It's not real bright. And I thought that's kind of pretty. I like that. I like the dark brown borders. Okay, so then we need to fold this in half so we know where the center is here. I'm just going to fold this. You guys are doing an excellent job of commenting tonight. So I wonder who our winner will be for the prize tonight. I enjoy sending them out every Thursday. Now it's Thursdays. I always sent them out on Tuesdays before, but now I send them out on Thursdays. Okay, so let's get this lined up. So here's our center. Get this lined up. Okay. Whoops here. I didn't get that one very pressed on, did I? Usually this Peltex is just like really, not Peltex, but Shapeflex is usually really stuck. It has a very good adhesive on it. So, but I did this one quite a while ago. So this one, I don't know. I think I'm going to like this. Turn it over and do the other side here. I'm kind of hungry. I ate a little bit before I started, but I had some workmen come to pick something up, and I didn't have time to eat a full supper. So I'm kind of hungry. These are wonderful pins. Yes, Barb. I love these pins. They are sharp, and they are very soft. So they're a little expensive, but they're worth it because I go through a lot of pins because I sew quite a bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this one. And we're going to do the same thing here, so we'll make sure that I get onto the fabric this time. I'm not quite on the fabric. See, I might have a little problem if I don't get on my fabric. There we go. There we go. All right, so we're going to do this side, still using Q02 for my 1/4 inch piecing stitch. Yeah, I cut this one out quite a while ago. I can't remember when I did it. I did it over the in the summer, and I've got all of them done. I have to finish the design for the January one because I made a new design for the January one. So, all right. But he will do him in December. You like the flat-headed ones? I do too. I have some of each here. Like here's one of the flat. I like the flathead ones too. They're easier to hang on to, I think. I like the other ones really well, but I do like those flathead ones. I had to try them just because I couldn't get the other ones for a while, and then I can get both of them now. So I have them both up on the website, I think. Okay, so we're gonna get this one on and get this lined up here. And tomorrow night we have our embroidery club Christmas party. We always have our Christmas party in October before the weather's bad. So we're going to have our Christmas party tomorrow night. That'll be fun. We always have really good food. Get this one out of the way. This is the only pin I would ever tell you to sew over. Yes. These are magic pins, and these are extra fine patchwork pins. And of course, you could pull them if you're still uncomfortable sewing over them. But these are so soft. I've never had any problems because I have so much trouble with scooting, like on my piecing seams. So that's why I do sew over them. You don't have to, obviously. If you would rather pull them, please do. But these are so soft. See how soft they are? I can just bend them. They're so soft. And but they're really good. They're really good, and they're really sharp. Whose Christmas party? Oh, our embroidery club. We have an embroidery club Christmas party in Iowa City. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and press this one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press this towards the border. Okay, so I'm going to press it inward, and then I'm going to do my trimming. So remember, we need this to be. So this one needs to be. It says to square it up to 18 inches, but I can never do that. So what I do is I take my ruler 1/4 of an inch above my point here, and I cut it off and square it up on my square it up on my mat, and I cut this off so that I have my 1/4 inch seam above my point here. But it's usually about 18 1/4 inches. It's usually a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'm going to go press this, and then I'm going to do my trimming real quick. So I'll be back in a moment. Probably can't hear me way over here. I'm a long ways away. All right, I'm going to trim. do a little press again. All right. Now this is a little bit bigger than it says. I've never gotten mine to be 18 because if I cut it all the way down to 18, I cut off this 1/4 inch piecing, you know, for the corners here, and then I have a messy corner. So mine are always just a little bit bigger than that. Okay, so there's our center with the corners on. I think that looks pretty good. Kind of like those. I like those leaves. When I first picked that fabric out, I wasn't sure about it, but I think I like it. All right, so then this one has the pieced borders on it. So these were the rectangles, and I already sewed mine in half. Okay, I sewed the 2 halves together, and then 2 of these we're going to put our little orange corners on. So let's sew those little orange corners on here quickly. I think it's turning out pretty. I like it. All right, so we'll put these on the corners here. We're going to still use our 1/4 inch stitch, piecing stitch here. Yeah, I have to walk quite a ways further to get to the kitchen counter to do my pressing, so you probably can't hear me way over there. When I'm in my sewing room, it's very close, so I'm like right behind the sewing table, so you can probably hear me when I talk. So I'm far enough away over there, you probably can't. So let's get these on here. Put these on, a couple of them. You can probably hear me now. I'm sitting right on top of the microphone. But when I was over there, you probably couldn't hear me. I'm just far enough away. It's quite a lot further away than I normally am when I'm trimming. And sometimes I'll talk to you while I'm over there because I know you can hear me. I'm not too far away. But here, so hopefully I won't be in here too long. The first class, this class and next week's class, I'll be in here. And hopefully then I'll be back in my sewing room. So, all right, I'm going to get these on here. Got one more to do here. Okay. So these are our little corners. These are also 2.5 inch squares on the corners. Oh, good. You did hear that. Okay, so you could hear me. Well, I wasn't sure. I am quite a ways further away. So now with what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press the little squares into the border, in towards the border. And I'll just finger press those. And then we'll put the other borders on. So I'm pressing them towards the border, the squares. Okay, so there's one, and here's the second one. And we're going to alternate these borders so that they're opposite of each other. So the colors are opposites on opposite sides. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and here's the center here. Let's put these out of the way here. And then here's the center. So we're going to go ahead and center these on. So what I do is I want to make sure I put my center seam here on this, right on the point. So I want to make sure my seam's like right on my points there. So I kind of turn it back so I can see it. Let me get my pins out again. Make sure, whoops, sir, come back. Make sure that our seam is right on our point there. I'm going to put a pin there. Do I know where the designs are from? Lynn did those designs herself, Jan. So those are Lynn's designs. She's been dabbling in some digitizing. She's doing real well. The little designs were some like freebies that are in the software, but she did all the setup and the quilting and all that stuff on it. So yeah, those are designs that Lynn put together for the class. All right, so then this side, okay, so here's this side. I want to put the green on the opposite side. So the green's over here. I'm going to put it over on this side, on this on the opposite side here. And we're going to do the same thing. Let's line up our seam here on our point. I want to make sure everything lines up nice. So the seam line is going to be on my point there. That. We'll go this way. Looks like I got this trimmed pretty well. Everything's matching up, so that's always a good thing, right? Good night, Cindy. I know you have to go to bed. It's later there where you are. Yeah, I don't have to get up that early. I don't have to be at work till 10, so I don't get up very. I'm not a morning person. I'm a night person. All right, so we'll get this all lined up. Okay. And we're going to trim, we're going to sew this one on with our 1/4 inch piecing stitch. And I like to tie off on my borders to make sure that, oops, let's see here, that they won't unravel. All right, do this one. Make sure I got them, yep, I got them opposite of each other. I've done that before. I got it all sewed on and I'm like, whoops. I didn't get them turned. Now the next thing we want to do, of course, is this is where we pray a little bit that I don't mess up my little corner. I don't want to cut my corner off. So I think we're okay. I had a nice 1/4 inch there, so I think we'll be fine. So we don't cut off our little corner on our center. Yeah, I really like the colors too. I know that Judy's very happy because she's looking forward to this one coming to her house. She loves, these are her colors. She likes fall. So she was very excited about getting this one. I don't remember if she helped me pick out the colors that day or not. I had these at the store. I was going through trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I don't remember if she helped me that day or not. Okay, so we're going to turn this over and do the other side. All right. I don't like to cut either. You know, the hardest part about these has been picking out the fabric, because Kimberbell has a tendency to use quite a lot of fabrics, you know, quite a number of fabrics. And so that's the hardest thing for me, is to try to find that many fabrics that coordinate together. So I've always found that hard about these, but I've learned a lot doing these because I'm feeling more confident now. All right, let's see here. Oh, and then we get to play with the bow maker again with this one too, because we're going to make bows for our pumpkins. All right, so I'm going to tie off on this one too. Oh, you have everything. Oh, you haven't done the October one yet. It's ready for Halloween. All right, so let's get the. Hopefully our corners turned out. Let's see how our corners turned out. See how we did here. Ooh, I think we did okay. Look, I see I still have a point. There's one. Let's turn it over and look at the other one. That one looks pretty good, so I think we did okay. So let me press these out. I'm going to press these out towards the border, and then I'll come back and we'll do the last two. This looks good. Okay, so I think I did okay on those corners. I got my points. We want the points here And I got a point over here, so we did well. All right, now we're going to turn this, and then we want to make sure we do the same thing with these. These I've already cut, I put my little corners on. So we want to make sure that we have, we alternate the colors. So I've got the rust over here, so I want to put the green on this side so that we don't have like a green, the two greens touching. So we're going to flip this over like this and do the same thing. We're going to get this lined up here, get my seam lined up on my point there. I think I got it. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we'll get that in there. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to line up, I'm going to nest my little corners here for that. So they're nice and together. And then let's put a pin here too. It feels so good to do something normal tonight. This is normal to me, to be with my buddies, my sewing buddies. It's been a very weird week. 2 weeks, I should say. So it's nice to do something normal. Well, I'm not in my sewing room, but sit here and sew on my sewing machine is very normal for me. Okay, so let's do the other one here. Now this one we want to make sure we get it the other way. So we want to make sure the green's over here because it was on the right, and that's the way we want it on the left. So we'll do it this way. And do the same thing here. Let's get this lined up. On our at the tip of our little point there. Looks pretty good. Okay, and then nest our corners over here. Those nicely together. Nice and flat. Yeah, it was funny. The gentleman that came to look at my house to tell me, to get the flooring and stuff done and all that. He said, well, what kind of flooring do you want? And he suggested something besides the linoleum that I've only had linoleum all these years. And it's the original linoleum. I mean, it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. But they had to cut it out because it was, wet. And he suggested some other kind of new flooring that's very nice for like entryways and stuff like that. I just told him to pick it out. I'm not very picky about stuff like that. And he just asked me what color. I said brown because everything's like, I don't have gray and black and stuff. So all right, so I'm gonna tie that off, and we're gonna put these other ones on here. So I guess I'm gonna get some nice flooring. My room is very small out there. It's only about maybe 9 by 8 or something like that. Yeah, I told him to surprise me. No, he's getting that. It's that new kind of like tile. It's not tile. It's like a different kind of flooring that looks like wood, but it's like tile sort of. And he said that's very good for inside entryways like that. So, and it's in my laundry room, So that's what I'm getting, I guess. I'm just not, like I said, I'm not very picky with stuff. So, and I don't like to pick stuff out like that. So I'm sure it'll look, he showed me a picture of it and it was very attractive. So, but my room is so small, you won't actually even be able to see the flooring because it's all covered up with a rug. So yeah, I'll take you for a tour when it gets done. I'm looking forward to it being done. Let's turn this over and do the other side here. But I would not recommend doing remodeling because of this. This would not be the way that I would tell you to get remodeling done. It's been rather stressful. I would not recommend it. All right, doing the same thing on this side. But you notice, even though I am going over those pins, I am not going very fast. So don't go 1,000 miles an hour over them, okay? All right, make sure this one's lined up. This is where our point is, so hopefully we'll be okay. All right. And one last press, and I think we'll be done. Look, we did it. This one's going to turn out really cute. Now I'll do the quilting on this one. Now this one, the quilting, I'm trying to remember what I did. I believe I did one of the Kimberbell autumn designs. So it's one that I purchased. Oh, well, that's true, Marianne. I have done quite a little bit of cleaning. So yes, I have done that. Because, you know, then you have to move everything. So then you got to clean it and vacuum and all that. So yes, I've been doing that too. Okay, so let's take the pins out and see how we did. But I think I used, I think it was called Autumn 1. It was one that I purchased. It's a Kimberbell quilting design that I use with my clear blue tiles. But it wasn't in the clear blue tiles folders. I don't think it was in that one. I'll have to look, but I'm pretty sure it was called Autumn 1, because the fall one that's in the Kimberbell Clear Blue Tiles is actually the Halloween one that I used last month. Okay, so look. Oh my gosh, I didn't trim that corner off. Let's look at this one. And there, oh, look, I got 4 corners. I'm very proud of myself. Okay, so I'm going to go and press these, and then we will go on to the drawing. Just a second. I'll get these pressed so you can see it. All right. So what do you think, guys? I think it looks good. What do you think? Even though I have two greens there together, you know, it's okay because it's just got a different size of that over there, but it's okay because it makes it look random, right? That's what it's supposed to be. So there we go. And I have 4 corners, which I'm always proud when I get the corners right. Okay, so there's our topper. What do you think? I'm anxious to get it quilted. So let me look on my quilting here. Give me a second. I'm going to look at the quilting pattern. I'm pretty sure it was Autumn. I think it was called Autumn 1. The arm's going to move in here. A second. Let's see if we can find it. I think, oops. See, I might have taken my USB out a second. When I moved, I had to move my machine, so I think I took the USB out. Can't see it, though. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called, though. Because I think they have a new autumn one now, but I don't think I had it at the time I did these. So let me see if I can find my quilting. I think that's what it was called. It has leaves on it. Get the other one up here so you can see it. And has leaves and curls on it. It was really cute. I think it was just called Autumn, though. Animal Autumn. I think it was Autumn 1. Oops. Let's take a look. Got it on here. Yes, it was this one. So it's called Autumn 1, and it has like little, it has leaves, and it had like acorns on it. It was really nice. So that's the one I used, was Autumn 1. And I think there's a new Autumn one now that I just got. I was going to look and see if that one was different. I might use the other one because it seems like they just had a new one, Autumn 2. So I don't remember what this one looks like. So let's take a look here. This one is, oh, this one's pumpkins. So this one would be nice too. So this one's pumpkins. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a glare in here. So it's little pumpkins. So I might use this one because it does have pumpkins on it. So maybe I'll use this one this time. So there's a couple of new autumn ones that Kimberbell came out with. So I may do that. All right. So the next step, of course, will be if you need to go look at the videos, I'll link the videos in the description on YouTube and on Facebook so that you can see the video again for the quilting. If you need help with the clear blue tiles, you can quilt it any way you want. But if you're using the clear blue tiles, I have the video for that. And then also the next week we'll work on the embroidery. Okay. And so we'll work on that next week, and we'll do embroidery, and then we'll do our little bows. We have some jute bows on this one. So I'll get my bow maker out and we'll make some bows. So there we are. I think we got our top done. I'll have to do the quilting this week. I'll take it with me tomorrow and get it all sandwiched at the store. I have a nice table there so I can get it sandwiched. So there's our top. Okay. So let's see if we can come up with a winner for our prize tonight. I got to find it over here. So next week we'll do a little bit of, I have to change my camera just a minute. Things turned up here. All right, change my microphone so you hear me better. Okay, so we're going to have our drawing, and remember next week we'll do the embroidery portion of this, and then the third week in October, the next week in October will be we're going to do a scan and cut class, and we're going to make that Advent the little tree, the Advent wreath or the Advent tree. Okay, so we're going to do that the third week in or the third October week. Was it 25th? What is the date? Next week is the 18th. 18 and 7. What is that? I'm having trouble with numbers tonight. So the next one will be the 25th. That'll be the Advent tree. So we're going to do that with a scan and cut. So I'm looking forward to that because I've been wanting to make that for a long time. So okay. So tonight's winner will get the little Hello Fall mini quilt, and then another one. And I made this one out of cork. So this is kind of neat. This is my Sew Along with Jen. This is another needle case. This is made out of cork. Okay. So those are the prizes for tonight. So let's see here. Let me get my tablet here. And if you're away from here, I'll be happy to mail it to you, but you need to personal message me your mailing address so that I can mail it to you. Okay. So I'm just going to go through. You've been very good about comments tonight. So I'm not going to look. I'm just going to put my finger down. Put my finger down on Colleen Robinson. Colleen, did you win once before? Guess what? You won again. Did you win it once before? I think you did. Colleen Robinson. You don't have one of these already, do you, Colleen? Are you still here? I think you are. I'll make a note so I don't forget who won. Because you don't have one of these already, do you, Colleen? I have a few of you that come to every single class, so a couple people have won a couple times. That's okay. All right. I did. You can give it to. Oh, so is this the same? Is this the same thing you got before, Colleen? Oh, you have both of these. So this is something you already have. Okay, so we're going to draw another name. How about that? So I thought, because Colleen didn't win too long ago, as I remember. You didn't win too long ago, and I had a bunch of these in my bag, and I've been giving them away for the fall because I wanted to wait till fall. Oh, okay, so let's have another drawing. Just a minute. We'll do it again. See if we can find somebody new. So I'll start doing I'll flip through here again. Okay. I didn't think you'd won too long ago, but I couldn't remember what I gave you.
All right, so let's do another one. So this one is, Robin Hammond. Robin Hammond. So Robin Hammond is the winner. Since Colleen already had one of these, Robin Hammond is the winner. Okay, so let me write Robin's name down. Robin, are you still here? So you can send me your I need you to send me your address by personal message on Facebook. Robin Hammond. So I'll write that down so I don't forget. So Robin's going to be the winner because Colleen already had one. So Colleen, we'll get you another. You'll win again. I know you will. So you'll have another prize. That was funny because I thought you had one not too long ago, and I thought it could have been the same thing because I had a bunch of these. For some reason, I made a bunch of these, and I don't know why, but they're cute, and I just had a bunch of them. So Robin Hammond. So make sure you send me your address, your mailing address, and I'll mail these to you. Okay. So Robin is the winner of this tonight. Okay, so next week we'll do our embroidery on Wednesday on this table topper, and then the following Wednesday will be the and then we will be doing the Advent calendar on the last Thursday of the month, so, or the last Wednesday of the month. So, okay. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. And Robin, send me your mailing address by personal message and I'll get you your prize. So thank you for giving away your prize, Colleen. I appreciate that. So then somebody else could have it. So thanks, everybody. Have a nice evening.